Have you ever heard of the town that has a mayor that reminds me of John Denton from Yellowstone? Well, you're going to have to stay tuned.
We're here with Pat Kelley, who is the mayor of Minneola and also a cast member that works with me at Disney Vacation Club. So at work, of course, we call him the mayor. So, Pat, can you tell us a little bit about your history with Minneola and a little bit about maybe getting from here to Disney and working?
I moved here in 2000. Prior to I moving here, there was a very strong influx of Minneola wanted to grow to become this big journey. They had some, if you look back through history, they had some really weird ideas. You had a mayor once that wanted to build a ski resort here, try to become a vacation destination. They wanted to put casinos here to become a vacation destination. When all that started coming up, I kind of turned into going into the politics world and said, let's just kind of slow the roll. So I took over about 12 years ago with the idea of there was so much approved in the pipeline from the 1990s, just to let the sales pace work out naturally and stop trying to grow. Let's just kind of consume what we have. It's kind of like going to Shoney's. It's like, let's just take a little bit, finish the plate, then go back instead of keep piling up. The philosophy here is as we build and develop Minneola out, we make sure that the infrastructure is in place and the schools are in place. We've got 3 schools, elementary schools here in the city. Actually, they're ranked the highest ones in the high schools in the county here. We have a charter school, a regular school, and then we have a hybrid charter school. We're getting a new K through 8, and we've pretty much positioned our place now that we're starting to get some growth in the housing here. The businesses, we've got Publix coming in, Advent Health is building a new hospital. We got a new turnpike entrance 4 years ago, aroundish.
Okay.
Which is great for people who work in Orlando or they work at Disney. You get right on the turnpike, go down to 429, zoom around 429, and you can go right into that gate at.
How long does it take you to get to our offices, which are in Celebration? Yeah.
I can get there in about 35 minutes.
Okay.
Getting into Orlando, 20 minutes. Lake Nona, 40 minutes. Very easily. Easy access. Couple red lights. You don't have to stop and go traffic like you would in Altamont, like you would going into Claremont, Groveland on Highway 50, none of the state roads. You don't have that. It's pretty much a couple red lights and you're out. It's all about the infrastructure with 4-lane roads. You'll see a lot of roads that are here that don't have buildings because we've got to make sure the roads go in there. Sometimes you just see a 2-lane road, but we've already acquired enough real estate to widen those when needed. We want to be like the choice of families. So we want you to come here with your family. Generationally, what's happened in South Lake County over time is people moved here, their kids went to school, and then when they graduated from high school, they're like, I don't want to live in the country, so they moved to Orlando, they moved to Atlanta, they moved to Birmingham, they moved to other places. So the thought process is you want them to live places now, and we're trying to give that generation. My daughter still lives here, which is great because she's moving on with her life, have grandkids are close by. For Minneola, we're starting to attract, the goal was choice of families, so we're trying to get that 30, late 20s, 30s families starting out, the homes coming in. But to compensate that, a lot of them are moving down here from the north, and now we've got a new Del Webb community coming in, which is a phenomenal looking product for those who know the Del Webb. It's going to be over 55.
Yes.
Community that's breaking ground as we speak. We've got Ashton Woods is here. A lot of homes. We've got one new apartment complex. We're not really that rich on apartment complexes. We don't have that many. But we're just taking it slow on the growth.
Yeah, you told me something interesting a little earlier, that you're really not encouraging or approving new developments.
No, we put a resolution in place 5 years ago that pretty much sets expectations for people because you have all this land and then everybody's doing the big land grab. Let's go ahead and build houses. Minneola took the stance that we have no desire to approve any additional homes that weren't already approved. Like I said, in the late 1990s, early 2000s, where like there was enough approved, just to let that kind of naturally flow through. If we, with the numbers that are going, even if the market wouldn't turn aggressively, we still have like 10 years of approved homes that we can build.
You do, okay.
And the point is, things change over 10 to 15 years. My home, I bought moved here in 2000. That house we've already had to remodel it. Like, you live in your house, what was important to 10 years ago is not the same thing here. So when you give all these people the rights, vested rights, and they come in and you can't change it. So it's like, let's just take care of what we're doing. Then in 15 years, we'll see what's really important and we can address. Maybe at that point in time, it's bigger lots, smaller lots. We don't know. But why would you approve a 40-foot lot this year, knowing 10 years from now you can't reverse those decisions?
Yes.
So we put ourselves in a position where we financially do not need the annexation or the growth to actually financially survive in the city. We pay cash for everything, so we're not trying to. A lot of people take on debt, and then they have to approve houses or approve businesses to get that income basis in to cover their debt. We don't do that. We don't have the debt, so we don't need them in.
So it sounds to me, Pat, that even though you're not approving new developments, you're still welcoming people here, right? There's still places for them to live. There's still great opportunities to bring your family and start your family, as you said.
There's a lot of empty tables. There's a lot of empty chairs at the table right now.
Okay.
We're just trying to fill those chairs before we bring another chair in. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
It's kind of like going to Disney. You're like, the lines are pretty short right now, but the rides are still running and you can still go there. And then once those lines start getting busier, then we'll open up more. But we're just taking it slow.
Great.
So that's the thought process here.
So I did a little research on Minneola, and it's very interesting. So, of course, following the Civil War, you had the Homestead Act of 1862 that brought a lot of people here. But my understanding is there was actually someone from Minnesota who came down, purchased 200 acres of land, and really plotted out the downtown area so that it overlooked the lake.
Yeah, it was originally it started off as more of a winter vacation destination. We have the lake. Claremont was platted off a little bit more, but basically all of Southlake County was actually Florida Ranch, and it's all these parcels, and now they're going back. But yes, all of Southlake County was all groves. This originally, if you look at Minneola here, it's kind of a funny thing that I remember being back in the 1970s coming to Disney. We would come down the turnpike. We would come every spring, and we would come down here, and all this was all orange groves. You could roll down the windows, and I just remember seeing
that smell.
The smell, that was it.
Smell, yes.
You roll down the windows not because you wanted to smell it, it's because we couldn't afford air conditioning in the car. But I just remember that. And I very distinctly remember this area just because of the rolling hills, and never imagined I would be the mayor here. But then in 1980, the freeze came, this sold out, and then right after that happened, this whole area was approved out to be a golf resort up here into the county in 1990. Got approved, it started being built, went bankrupt in 2008. So we got a lot of approved property here that we're slowly just trying to develop out. We're not really trying to take over the world here. We really respect the county and the beauty. Actually, in Minneola, the highest part in Central Florida is in this ridge of the peninsula is Sugarloaf Mountain, and we actually have that piece in the city. That eventually is earmarked to be a park.
Then that's one of the things I love about this area. It is so different from when you go down to the Disney area where you have the flat Florida land. Yeah. These rolling hills are just absolutely amazing, and they do remind me of where I grew up, and I'm sure it reminds a lot of the people that moved to this area. If you want to have something close to, or at least the topography that you may have seen as a child, this place is great.
Yeah, as we roll up into the Sugarloaf area, which we really respect, it's one of those things I always tell people, if you just dropped you off in the middle of nowhere and said, where are you at? You would never say Florida, because
Very
The
true.
hills are very rolling. We actually have Lake Apopka, a lot of natural reserves. There's the Ferndale Overlook, which is classified up in Minneola. There's a huge walking trail. A lot of bicyclists are out here using the roadways. They have the Horrible 100, which comes out here. We have the Triathlon Training Center out here. We have the Florida Ironman out here. Most of them are using the roads up through Minneola.
Oh, are they really? Oh, wow.
Yes. So that's one of the big pieces here. We have in our older part of the city, we actually have, if you get cuts across this way here, that is actually the trail that goes through Winter Garden. Eventually, it will go from the East Coast to the West Coast.
260 miles is what I heard.
Yeah. Somewhere, Claremont or somewhere need deem themselves as the center of the trail.
Okay.
But we are actually connected to the trail. We have a park there we have a new skateboard park there. There's outdoor fitness there. There's a new playground. We also have the MAC, and then we have some additional parks that are coming. The unique big thing about our city is we haven't incurred debt in 12 years. We don't take on debt. Everything we do pay cash for. You'll see a new fire station coming in. We're already planning our next fire station up in the hills, up in this area. We got two new fire trucks, paid cash for those.
In closing, is there anything else that you want to talk?
No.
Sounds like you're very proud of your place that you live. Sounds like it's a great place.
I'm just glad that for me, I'm living in the same city that, or the same area that my daughter lives in and my in-laws live in too. They actually, my father-in-law was one of the original design engineers at Disney. Back in the 70s, and they moved to Windermere when Windermere was a town. If you remember those days, you moved over on Butler, you paid $25,000 for and then they moved out here in 2000. We kind of found it, so we kind of followed them out here.
Okay.
But it's very diverse. The area, we're very accessible to Orlando. I like to tell people you can get to Orlando if you want to, but I live behind a John Deere tractor dealership and a moose lodge, so you kind of got everything here. But as we move in, the younger generation seems to be moving out here. We seem to be a bedroom community for Orlando. People don't like the term bedroom community. I'm fine with that, because everyone else have their own identity. I'm like, I got quoted years ago about your bedroom. I'm like, well, if I'm a bedroom community for Orlando, I'll be the best damn bedroom community there is for Orlando. We've managed to get rated as one of the better places to live in Lake County. We're the 8th safest city in all of Florida. We've got a couple of those. So yeah, we're proud of the city. We're just taking it slow. We have a small little donut shop here called Donut King. That's got a couple of awards.
Pointed that out on the way up. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The key thing to know about Donut King is pre-COVID, Donut King had more employees than the city of Minneola does. That includes our fire department. We run very lean here.
Wow.
We don't have a lot of. We're very thrifty here.
It's very nice.
Exactly.
Nice. Well, you've heard it here today on Near Disney. We're here with Pat Kelley, good friend and mayor of Minneola. So, Pat, want to thank you very much for your time.
Anytime.
And, hopefully everybody will know more about Minneola.
Yeah, love to see y'all come out here. At least you'll see us on the turnpike.
Great.
So,
Thank you very much,
bye.
Pat.
Make sure that you subscribe and like so that we can continue to give you up-to-date information on all things that are going around the 25-mile radius of Cinderella's Castle, because this is truly a magical place to live.